All right, I'm going live on YouTube right now, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. Tell me when we're ready to go.
We're live. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, again, sorry for our problems here, but it looks like we're having problems all over Graham. We've welcomed everybody and we are going live stream. YouTube is www.youtube.com and type in City of Graham. If you have any problems with connection or connection difficulties, call Preston Jenkins at 336-347-8674. For public comments tonight at this meeting, indicate that you wish to do so by using the raise hand feature on Zoom, or if by phone, press *9 and our meeting host will notify me that you wish to speak. All right, I am Jerry Peterman, the Mayor of the City of Graham, and I'd like to confirm that all members and staff are present. And when you hear me say aye, that you're here. Members present first is Mayor Pro Tem Chip Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Melody Wiggins.
Aye.
Councilmember Jennifer Talley. Councilmember Ricky Hall.
Aye.
City Manager Frankie Manis.
Here.
Assistant City Manager Aaron Hall.
Here.
City Attorney Brian Coleman.
Here.
City Clerk Darcy Sperry.
Here.
And Planning Director Nathan Page.
Here.
All right. So we all set? Okay. We will start our meeting, and let me do an invocation real quick, please. If you would, bow your heads. Heavenly Father, as we meet tonight, give us insight and the wisdom to make the proper decisions for the City of Graham. Be with our staff as they handle the business of the city and the trials of the COVID-19 that is within our midst now. As we continue to pray, protect those that protect us, whether it be police here in the state and the nation or all over the world. Be with every one of them and bring them home as soon as you possibly can. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen. Would you please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance? My flag is straight outside. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let me get my chair up here. All right, next we have our consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as written.
Would you let me allow me to ask if anybody wants to pull something first, and then we'll go back to that motion, okay? Would that be all right with you, Ricky?
Yes, sir.
I personally need to pull G and I from the consent agenda. Does anybody want to pull anything else? Now, Ricky.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept all those except for G and I.
Thank you, sir. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, everyone. All in favor, I'll poll the council. Mayor Pro Tem.
Say again, Mayor, I cut out.
We're voting on the consent agenda. If you want to accept everything but G and I.
Yes,
vote
sir.
aye.
Aye.
Okay. Melody Wiggins,
Aye.
Jennifer Talley, Ricky Hall,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye. So we'll go to G on the consent agenda, and I'm going to go to Aaron, and he's going to talk about both of them. Aaron, please.
Thank you, Mayor. And this is to make a clarification of an error. The staff reports and resolutions that you received for items G and I referenced the wrong general statute. Both of these items are petitions for non-contiguous annexations, which should have referenced General Statute 160A-58, but they incorrectly are referencing 160A-31, which are for contiguous annexations. Those corrections have been made, and staff just wanted you to be aware of that change.
Aaron, what should we do here? Should we vote on F and I? I mean G and I? on the consent agenda, or go to the old business and work on it there?
Well, I believe Darcy has put in the presentation, the updated, I'm not sure which slide number it is, but she put the updated sheets in there.
Slide number 4.
Okay,
So you would just vote, but it would reference the changes that were made.
okay. So Darcy, you want to show us the slide, please?
Jeff is handling that, and I
Okay.
Working on it. There's no numbers on it, so I'm kind of having to guess here.
Okay,
Is that that's 4 on my screen? Is that not the right one?
nope, that is correct on this particular one.
Yeah.
Okay.
so this is what we should have had in the first place.
That's correct. If you look down in the suggested motion, you see where on number 1, it references 160A-58, and on number 2, and the same would be for the item I as well. So it just wanted you to be aware that that change has been made and that you will be voting on the updated general statute numbers.
Okay, question for the staff. Melody, would you ask questions, please?
Sure. So let me get this straight. We're taking what we see in front of us, and I can't see on my screen number 2. Are they both for the same resolutions, or are we doing number 1 and then going to another page and doing number 1 as well on that?
I believe they were in there for reference. We just wanted you to be aware that you would be making the vote on the updated general statute.
Okay, great. So if we have a motion and we move to accept the G and I, they are, is what we see. They are corrected, correct?
Yes, we have corrected them.
Thank you.
All right, the question is, this is G that we're voting on right here?
Correct.
Aaron, can you remind me how everyone voted on this before?
This happens to be a new item.
I thought there was something that they corrected.
Not for
That
this
was-
particular item.
Yeah, it's not for this one. This is new.
Oh, okay. You're talking about just for, yeah, but I'm talking about for the other one.
Right, that would have been for
Are we
E.
doing both of them, or are we just gonna do the one?
We'll do them one at a time. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do them one at a time. This is G, I believe you're talking about, right, Aaron?
That's correct.
Okay, we'll vote on G and then come back to I. After we do G, then Aaron can explain I to us, please. Is that all right with everyone?
Works for
Yes.
me. I'll make a motion that we accept G as written with the updated language.
Thank you, sir. I do need a second.
Second.
I'll poll the council. Melody Wiggins, please.
Aye.
Ricky Hall,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Aye.
Jennifer Talley,
Aye.
and I vote aye, and that is for G. So next, let's go to I, which is petition for voluntary non-contiguous annexation. Aaron, I believe you're doing this one also?
Yes, sir. And it's the same situation as G. It's a non-contiguous annexation that you just said. It's referencing the wrong general statute that's been updated by staff to read general statute 168-58 as well.
All right, questions for the staff. Ricky, let's start with you, please.
I have none, sir.
Chip,
No question.
Jennifer,
What, are you saying that the statute changed?
No, when we put the staff report together in the resolution, there are two different general statutes that govern the annexations, one for non-contiguous, other for contiguous. And these are non-contiguous annexations. So we have to reference the right one. So we had to go back in and make those changes, and we had to make council aware of those changes, so they're voting on the accurate staff reported resolution.
Okay.
All right,
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept item I as written with the corrected language.
did Melody have a question?
No, sir.
Okay.
Looks like Jerry's locked up again, isn't it? Yep.
All right, is everybody there?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes, Mayor.
I need a motion on I.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept I as written with the corrected language.
Thank you, sir. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll poll the council. Melody Wiggin,
Aye.
Ricky Hall,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Aye.
Jerry, she didn't hear you.
We're really having problems tonight, aren't we?
Did you hear me, Mayor?
So that'll be 4 that we have, so it would pass. We'll give her a second or two or a minute or so.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, Jennifer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear anybody call me. So yes. If you were speaking, it didn't come through. I'm sorry. I'm also in Graham.
He's having internet issues. I think it's on his end, Jennifer. Aaron, I think we need to take him off of 4G and put him on his wireless. Jerry, can you hear us?
Yes.
You have bad internet issues in and out.
Okay, how do we do that?
If you look at the top of
Yes.
your screen, you can go back to the main menu and go under settings and bring up your wireless. You're on the city's iPad, correct?
Yes.
Click on just click on your button and go back to your main screen and go to settings.
All right, let me find it.
And then you'll see wireless or Wi-Fi. You click on that. And then you should be able to see your home's wireless network there. You'll need to click on whatever the name of your home's wireless network is and type the password.
Okay. All right, it's there.
Should give it a second to connect, and you should see the wireless icon pop up in the top next to 4G. That means that you're connected. That'll probably give you more stable connection there.
Okay, here we are.
All right, let's try that.
Okay, we'll try that. Thank you. So where was I? Did we vote?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, Mayor.
I know it was 4-0. Jennifer, did you vote?
Yes.
Did you vote positive or negative?
Yes, in
Good.
favor.
5-0. Okay, good. All right, good deal. That was a long, drawn out consent agenda, but we got through it. Okay, next thing we need to do. We're going to old business. And I am going to go to Nathan for this. Nathan, if you would.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So this is item Riley's Meadow CR 2002. As we just discussed, this item was not properly noticed, And so the council doesn't have the authority to vote on the rezoning or the subdivision until such time as the annexation is official. My recommendation would be to table it until your next meeting for that reason.
Questions for the staff? Ricky, please.
So you're saying we can't hear this at all?
It is not in the ETJ nor in the city limits, so it would need an annexation before any rulings of the city were official.
Okay.
Chipper, please.
No questions, Mayor.
Jennifer.
No, I think I already knew it was going to be postponed.
Okay, Melody, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that, I will make the motion to postpone this to September the 8th. Again, I'll make the motion to postpone both of them until September the 8th. I need a second.
Second.
Your motion.
Thank you, sir. I'll poll the council. Melody, please.
Aye.
Ricky Hall, please.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem, please.
Aye.
And Jennifer Talley, please.
Aye.
And I'll vote aye also. So we'll notify the public that that will be moved to September the 8th. All right, next we'll go to a public hearing, Project Sort, excuse me. And I'm going to go to Frankie Manus, City Manager, if you would, Frankie, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The City of Graham, City of Mebane, and Alamance County have been working to entice United Parcel Service Incorporated to locate a proposed regional headquarters and distribution facility in the North Carolina Commerce Park. The facility is proposed to employ 451 full-time positions with average salaries of $65,147 and a taxable value of $262,214,000. And that's $250 million. That's illion with a B, not an M. The properties being considered are northeast of the Walmart distribution center within the Commerce Park and happens to be within the jurisdiction of the City of Mebane as established by our existing line of agreement. As such, the City of Mebane would be the lead agency for development reviews, inspections, and the provider of municipal services. The exact acreage of the site will depend on the final facility design, but is estimated to be greater than 150 acres or so. If our location in the Commerce Park is selected, Project Sort would be the 4th incentive project in the Commerce Park and the 6th project overall. Jeff, could you go to the next slide, please? So proposed incentives pursuant to the agreement include real property. And if we can advance to the next slide, the real property is denoted in red on that map. And I've got my screen covered up, but there should be a red property outline there. That happens to be a 6.67 acre tract that's jointly owned by the cities of Graham and Mebane. It was originally purchased in 2014 by the cities for $490,000, and it was intended for the construction of the Senator Ralph Scott Parkway that serves, obviously, the industrial park. In June of this year, June 3rd, 2020, the City of Mebane rezoned the property to light manufacturing, and the property itself is considered a remnant parcel. The primary purpose was for the Senator Ralph Scott Parkway, and now the most suitable use for the property is a recombination with adjacent properties for a better industrial site. Also included in the proposed incentives in the agreement is a cash grant totaling $3,933,210. This is a cash grant that, like many agreements we have, would be payable over a 5-year period upon the satisfaction of the tax base and job creation requirements, which that's part of the clawback provisions of the proposed incentive package. Obviously, if those job creation and tax base investments are not met, any cash grant will be prorated proportionately. The final incentive that's proposed is a waiver of local impact permit and inspection fees that would be included in any initial construction. And that has an estimated value of $150,000. Jeff, could you go to the next slide, please? Since this proposed development does happen to fall within the North Carolina Commerce Park, expenses and revenues are shared and will be allocated as set forth by the interlocal agreement between the county and the cities of Graham and Mebane, which was approved by this city council on May 7th, 2013. And assuming a new taxable investment of $262,214,000 and the current tax rates of the city of Mebane and Alamance County, each city or each member of the partnership would yield $996,000 in annual tax revenue and expend $262,214 in incentives each for 5 years. The costs pursuant to the agreement are as follows, as you can see on your screen. The total land cost incentive, $490,000, the total cash grant, nearly $4 million, for a total incentive for all three partners, total, $4,423,210. This would exclude the in-kind fee waivers of $150,000. So Graham's share of the 4.4 million would be 1.4 million. And I know the graph at the bottom may be hard to see, but nonetheless, it should represent to you an analysis of the total cash flow over the next 10 years and the net income for the partnership. And if anyone has any questions about those particular numbers, I know they're hard to see, but I'd be happy to call those out for you. And as far as the incentive agreement, the staff would recommend approval. In terms of taxable property, Project Soar would stand to be the largest in the history of Alamance County and would surpass the combined investment of all previous Commerce Park incentive projects. Indicated average salaries are nearly double the median household income for the city of Graham, and an annual payroll of over 29 million provides the opportunity for secondary benefits to local businesses and services. Joining me today and on the Zoom meeting is Mac Williams with the Chamber of Commerce, who may be available to answer any questions you may have. Also with UPS, project manager Kevin Zalatel is here as well. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And a reminder, this is a public hearing where public comment is encouraged.
Before we ask questions for the staff, I want to remind everybody in attendance that you'd like to speak on this agenda item, please indicate that you wish to speak by using the raise hand feature in Zoom. If by phone, press *9 to notify the host you wish to speak. We will recognize you at the appropriate time to speak. If you're having technical difficulties, please contact Preston Jenkins at 336-347-8674. Questions for the staff and Mac and anyone else, UPS? And I'll start with you, Mayor Pro Tem, please.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. Frankie, what would the city's tax revenue be up from this in it per year? Roughly.
Well, depending on the tax rates and the actual investment, I believe it's indicated on the slide. Well, I'm sorry, in your staff report of $996,000.
And our investment's going to be over $1 million.
It'd be almost 1.5 million over 5 years.
Okay, so in 5 years, we will get our investment back in 5 years.
Yes, if you take a look at the graph that's on the screen, if
yes.
The green bars indicate net cash flow or net income. So at the beginning, any incentives paid out, we should realize more in tax revenue than we're paying out in incentives.
Okay.
And obviously, it would be even greater income after the 5-year incentive is paid out.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all, Chip?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jennifer, please, questions.
Frankie, the cost for Graham you have there, is the remaining cost or the difference in the cost borne specifically by Mebane, or is that also shared by the county as well?
It would be the county as well. On the tax side of things, we are equal partners. So equal in the expense and equal in the revenue.
So it's all three is paying a third, is that right?
That's correct, 1/3 each.
Okay, and And when we bought that, did we paid for half of the property, equal shares?
We paid, Mebane paid half and Graham paid half, and Alamance County is reimbursing us for costs incurred by Graham and Mebane.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you so much. Good work on this.
Thank you.
Melody Wiggins, cost, questions, please.
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ricky Hall, have you got any questions, please?
No, but I have a comment.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the work that Frankie and the staff have done getting this project to this point. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. All right. With that being said, we'll open the public comments. Have we got anybody, Darcy?
Mr. Mayor,
Jeff's gonna handle that.
we do have a few. We had more. I'm not sure if they're having technical difficulties, but if you'll make the announcement again for anyone that's wanting to speak, please.
Okay. If anyone in attendance would like to speak during this agenda item, please indicate that you wish to speak by raised hand feature in Zoom, or by phone, press *9 to notify the host you would like to speak. We will recognize you at the appropriate time to speak. If you are having technical difficulties, call Preston Jenkins at 336-347-8674. And Jeff, I'll go to you for public comments, please.
Yes, sir. We have one. We also have Kevin and Mac available to talk. They're muted, but they are here if you would like to talk to them.
Okay.
The first person from the public is going to be Patty Allen. Patty, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Good evening, council. Thank you for letting me speak this evening. I am quite concerned that our community continues to court businesses from outside of the community while not courting the businesses that are actively growing, developing, moving into larger facilities, adding on to their facilities that have been employing families within our county, within our city limits for a long time now, as well as continuing to recruit people from outside of our county and outside of our state. It's great to grow our community. It's great to invite organizations such as UPS, but it's disappointing that we don't support those who have been supporting our community for so long. Thank you.
Ms. Allen, thank you for those comments. We appreciate you calling in. Who next, Jeff, please?
That is it, sir. She was the only one that still has the hand up.
Do we have any emails, Darcy?
No, sir, you don't.
Well, I'm absolutely excited about this. Anybody that gets 461 jobs at twice the regular paycheck of people of Alamance County, how can you not be excited about this?
Mr. Mayor, I'm
yes.
sorry for the interruption. We had one more person just raise their hand.
That'll be fine.
Stephanie Ward, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
So,
Ms. Ward,
yes.
welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. You too.
Would you let us have your address, please?
I am 2072 Jimmy Kerr Road in Graham.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you. What are the jobs being offered?
That will be a question not for me, but someone is here that can answer that. We will not take off of your 3 minutes while we answer that question, okay?
All right,
Thank
you.
Take care of that for me, please. Frankie, have we got someone that can answer this?
Kevin Zolotel's on here from UPS.
Yes, sir.
Kevin may be able to speak to that.
The full-time job opportunities that we have at UPS, we have full-time package delivery drivers that you see driving around in delivery trucks. That's full-time job opportunities. We have the tractor trailer drivers that are driving from hub to hub, hub to center. That's full-time job opportunities. And we also have full-time employees working within the hub doing package handling operations, along with full-time management opportunities in this location.
Okay.
So that would be the full-time job opportunities.
Okay, so the start pay for UPS is what, 13 an hour?
Yeah, we have part-time positions. So they start part-time, and that's probably in the range, I don't know the current pay rate.
It's
But,
$13 an hour start pay. So for the package handlers in the building, they're going to be loading and unloading?
Yes,
And are they going to be full-time or part-time?
it'll be a combination of both.
So-
450 full-time jobs, and then there will also be part-time jobs in this facility.
Okay, so your numbers were not totally accurate, is that correct?
They only asked about full-time jobs, which is the
Okay.
450, but there will be additional part-time job opportunities over and above the full-time jobs.
So the average is not $65,000 a year, is that correct? If you're
For the
taking into
full-
consideration the part-time jobs, because the part-time jobs are what, 5 hours a day most? So I'm curious as to how you came up with that average number.
That is the average pay for the 451 full-time jobs. It does not
But that
add into the part-time jobs. That is
Okay.
correct.
But the part-time jobs are not an average of $65,000. They're what, $25,000 a year?
I don't know what that average pay is, but it is not equivalent to the full-time job.
No, it's not. It's a whole lot lower.
Sure is.
Okay, it would be very nice if you could include that information too for full, so everybody else would know what was going on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Ward, thank you very much.
Okay.
I spoke with my firefighters the other night, and about every one of those guys worked at UPS as a part-time person right after high school, before they got a career, going whichever way they could. And they were all said that they were excited to have that part-time job at the time. The part-time jobs are hard to come by, but the 451 full-time jobs are what they were averaging out for that salary. All right, anybody else, Jeff?
Mr. Mayor, I believe Mac Williams, which is also with UPS, has his hand raised.
Matt, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not with UPS. I'm with the local Alamance Chamber, but I wanted to provide some explanation to the former speaker's question. The information that is provided, the 451 jobs at $65,000 an acre, is taken from information the company provided to the state in the form that the state takes in for project information. And on that form, it specifically says to only include full-time jobs. And so that is why the company only provided the information on the full-time jobs. It is true that there will be permanent part-time jobs as well, as the speaker from the company offered. And I think I should add, is my understanding that so it's not normally they're part-time jobs, so they are going to be lower than a full-time job would be. But I would also add that it's my understanding that the permanent part-time jobs would also provide benefits, which is unusual often for part-time work. So I wanted to offer, nobody's trying to hide anything. The form that is used to provide the project details did not allow for the provision of information about temporary or permanent part-time work.
Thank you, Mac. I appreciate that. Jeff, have we got anybody else?
Stephanie Ward has her hand raised again, and one more person, Maggie.
We have to go by Stephanie Ward. She's had her 3 minutes. Go to the next one, please.
Maggie, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to speak to Kevin from UPS and ask if they have a problem at all bringing their warehouse or plant site to a town that has a history of working with known white supremacists and will not vote to take down the statue that is bringing armed white supremacists downtown. That's a concern of a lot of local residents. And I think it should be a concern for UPS too.
All right, let's stop that one. Let's go to the next, if we have another one.
There's no one else, Mayor.
Then we'll end our public hearing and we'll discuss this among the council members.
There's, sorry, Mayor. So one other person just raised their hand.
Okay, let's go ahead and hear it.
Nikki, you've been unmuted. Go ahead. Nikki, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I really didn't like the way that you just knocked Maggie off. I mean, I think that's a really valid point that if UPS wants to bring their business into a town, a lot of businesses would like it to be a town that represents.
Mr. Mayor, I think this is irrelevant to
No.
what we're talking about.
Okay, well, I thought this was the town council meeting where you listen to your townspeople. So
Nikki, get.
all we
Right.
were saying to Kevin was that it might be part of the incentive package to remove the monument. That might be a good thing.
Nikki, I need your last name, please.
Cassette.
Thank you, ma'am. Something relevant, please. Is that all you had? I mean, that's your statement is you want something done with that.
Well, I just think it is relevant that if a business is going to come to a town, that they would understand what that town represents. And I also just didn't like the way that you knocked the other woman off for just trying to speak what she had to say. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? Yeah.
Yeah, for one more. Carrie Griffin, you have the floor. Go ahead. You've been unmuted.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, Jerry. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. I just wanted to reiterate that I believe that public comments usually have 3 minutes to speak. So I would respect if you would allow the other commenters to have that time. Also, I think it's really important the points that Stephanie made earlier. In Graham, persons in poverty, we have 19% of our population is in poverty. And while I am very excited for the opportunity for full-time and part-time work for our community, I think it's important that we look at all areas and we're truthful in that representation that is shared here in the city council meetings, especially when we are doing work with large corporations and not focused on our small community businesses.
Is that it, Carrie?
Yes, thank you, Jerry.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate your comments.
There's no more, Mr. Mayor. Go ahead.
Then we will end the public comment section of this and we'll discuss it among the council. What does everybody think?
Well, Mayor, I think it's a great opportunity. Incentives hadn't always been my favorite thing, but quite a few years ago, presidents were set to give incentives. And if you don't use them, if you don't do them, you're going to be left out in the cold. I think it's a great opportunity by UPS. I don't look at it as an incentive. I look at it as an investment. And we get that investment back in 5 years, and then there'll be years and years of jobs and a great tax base. I can't see. I think this is a very positive thing. I mean, you got 450 full-time jobs. And there'll be some part-time jobs for students and people looking for part-time work. I welcome UPS. Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you, Mac, for what all you've done in this. And Frankie and staff, great job. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor, I really hope that we're able to land this project. I think it's going to be a wonderful benefit to this community. And really appreciate the work that Frankie and the staff's done.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor, I echo the sentiments. I believe that the staff, the chamber, and UPS have done an outstanding job of coming together with the other municipalities. And we are very fortunate if we are able to land this company.
Yes, ma'am. Jennifer, have you got anything to add?
I appreciate the hard work that the staff's put into getting this done. Mac, the city of Mebane, Frankie, the entire staff there at the city of Graham. It is a contract, and these incentives do come with promises, but they are backed up by a contract. I encourage anybody that's listening to read the contract of the incentive. These jobs are promised, and we've entered into agreements before where if things are not fulfilled in the contract, then there are, the incentive is prorated, those sort of things. So I have the utmost confidence that the staff has done their due diligence to make sure that the contracts that we have for these incentives are pretty ironclad. And I think it's a great opportunity for the city to be able to have a new business come to town and bring, our city is already growing by leaps and bounds. I think we were, rated in one by one organization as the highest growth. And then I think when they went back and looked at it again, maybe we're the second in Alamance County as far as growth. So, I think this will just be one more feather in our cap to see. Graham is a wonderful city, wonderful, wonderful city. And it is something that I think that will help grow our community here. And I welcome it with open arms. I am very excited to have UPS come and tour the downtown, tour our little area here. It's a wonderful little town, and we appreciate you guys taking an interest in Alamance County.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, y'all said everything I needed to say, so I'll move to page 89, and I will move we approve the incentive agreement.
Mr. Mayor, I second your motion. Did we lose him?
I think we did lose them.
Yeah, that time he got disconnected, Frankie. He's completely gone from the meeting.
He is aware that we've lost him. He's trying to get reconnected.
Okay.
Hey, Chip, how are you?
Can you hear
I'm
us?
good, Mayor. Waiting
Yeah.
on you.
All
Have
right.
I got everybody?
Yes, sir. You're back.
All right, what did I lose?
We had a second. You made a motion, and we had a second by Ricky Hall.
Okay, so I've got a motion and a second. Should we repeat that, Darcy, or are we okay?
Can I get you to repeat that, Jerry, and go ahead and say the entire motion?
I'll be glad to.
Good.
I move we approve the incentive agreement for Project Soar with United Parcel Services Incorporated and authorize the mayor, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, and finance officer to execute the agreement on behalf of the city. And then I ask for a second.
Second your motion, Mayor.
Thank you, Ricky. So I'll poll the council. Melody Wiggins, please.
Aye.
Ricky Hall,
Aye.
Chip Turner,
Aye.
Jennifer Talley,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Thank y'all. All right. Congratulations, gentlemen. I hope this works out good for all of us. And if you are our new neighbors, we'll really, truly appreciate it because we could use the jobs and we could use the income. So, all right, let's see what we got next. What we've got is number 4, boards and commissions appointments. We've got a couple of vacancies that we had come up between now and last month, I mean. And I struggled with it a little bit last month, so I'd like to regroup on a little bit on how we're doing this. What I want to do is take each one of them one at a time. Like the Appearance Commission has one vacancy, so each council person will get one vote as we name who you want to vote for, and the highest person will win. If you get 3 votes for one person on the first round, then that's the one we will stick with, and we'll make a motion to appoint them. If you get a tie, say 2 to 2 to 1, since there's 5 of us, then we'll drop the 1 and we'll go with the 2 that have 2, and then we'll vote across it till we do get a majority. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Everybody does? Okay, well, let's go to the Appearance Commission. We've got 3 applicants, Carmen Larimore, Renee Russell, and Kate Moore. We have 1 vacancy. So I'll start with Melody, please.
Jerry, can I interrupt you for a moment?
Please do.
We did receive some public comment through email. I received an email from Carla Smith, who is the chair of the Appearance Commission. I'm looking now to see if she is in our waiting room.
Okay, anybody want to speak on this, is what you're saying?
Right, we'd have to, yeah, we'd like to pull that. I don't see where, I see Renee, I also received an email from Renee Russell. I do see where she's in the waiting room. So she may want to speak. I don't see Carla Smith in there, so if you would like me to, I will read her comments.
He's frozen again. All right, Jerry, you're back.
All right, back to Darcy, please.
Okay, I was telling before we lost you, I don't know what you've heard. It looks like Renee Russell is in the waiting room.
Okay.
She may want to speak.
Okay.
I received public comment from her. I also received public comment from Carla Smith, who is the chair of the Appearance Commission. And I do not see that she's in the waiting room. So
all right, let's read the one from Carla Smith first, and then we'll ask Renee or anybody else if they want to speak.
Right. So Carla states, I certainly appreciate the efforts of Kate Moore and Carmen Larimore for having submitted their applications for the Appearance Commission. I do, however, want to express my support for the reappointment of Renee Russell. Renee had served on this commission just recently and was an invaluable member. Her artistic talents and organizational skills were and will be great assets to this commission. Thank you for your consideration. Carla Smith, Appearance Commission Chair.
Can read her email that she sent.
Which, are you asking for Renee Russell or?
Yeah, if Renee's here or anyone else that's on the Appearance Commission or wants to speak about the Appearance Commission, let's have them speak before we take a vote, if she wants to.
I'll go ahead and read Renee's because I don't see where she's raised her hand, or I don't believe she's raised her hand.
Okay,
So,
that'd be perfect.
Renee's email says, I just wanted to send a quick message this morning to express my interest in being reappointed to the Appearance Commission. I believe my previous email says all it needs, but I'm happy to understand or to answer any questions you may have regarding the appointment. Have a great day. So right. She had sent an email back on July 15th. It followed the last council meeting, just saying that she had loved serving on the Appearance Commission.
Okay. Jeff, have we got anybody else?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor, not at this time.
Okay, then we'll vote on this. First, I'll go to Melody, please. Your one vote.
My one vote would be for Renee Russell.
Ricky Hall, please.
My one vote would be for Kate Moore.
Mayor Pro Tem.
My vote would be Renee Russell.
Jennifer, please.
I guess one of the questions that I had was from last meeting, we had vacancies for the appearance commission. That said that we had 2 vacancies. What happened between last meeting and this meeting? Where did this other, because I didn't know about this other vacancy that we had for appearance commission.
Jerry, if you'll let me answer that. The day after our council meeting, I received a resignation from one of the members, which now opened up this current vacancy.
Okay, so did you reach out to Cheryl Ray, who was on the last month's, because she's not listed here?
Cheryl Ray was appointed by council at last month's meeting to the appearance commission.
So the people that got appointed were Cheryl Ray. This was the one that I couldn't remember because we went back and forth. So Cheryl Ray and Judy Hall got appointed last meeting. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And who is the person that's coming off council? I mean, who's coming off that commission?
That would be Jan Peterman.
Oh, Jan. Okay. All right. And Jennifer Brito did she not want to be reconsidered?
Jennifer did not reach out to me telling me that she wanted to be considered. Not for this one.
Okay. Because she was listed last month's meeting.
All applicants, per Jerry's request last month, all applicants were sent an email the day after the council meeting, letting them know of any current vacancies and that they would just have to email me to let me know they were interested.
The only, I guess I need to defer to Jerry. I didn't know, I had talked to Darcy and she said that there was a request that came in from ZW Baldwin after she said was the deadline for the appearance commission. In the past, just like last month, we did another zoning member, planning and zoning member that wasn't necessarily on the agenda. So I didn't really know that there was a deadline to that. She pointed that out to me, but we weren't really advertising for that commission member. I don't know if other council members knew about it, but I didn't see any advertised anywhere for the parents commission vacancy. So I don't, by the time I found out about it and submitted somebody. So are you willing to take an application in tonight's meeting? I mean, we've done that in the past.
Are you asking me that?
Yes.
I think we had a deadline and we looked into this today, and I think Mrs. Baldwin was notified of the deadline, and she will be included in the group if we have another person drop out or anything like that. On the next election, she will be included in that group.
Okay, so I can't put forward her name tonight. Is that what you're saying?
No, we looked at it and there was a direct deadline. And you talked about Jennifer Brito. Jennifer did reach out because she's sitting on the Historical Museum Advisory Board. So she did know to put her name on here also if she wanted to be considered.
Okay. I'm just saying in the past, we've allowed appointments to be added even the night of the meeting. So I'm kind of surprised that we can't do that now, but.
Well, let me go to the staff and let's see if we've had an opportunity to do that in the past. Frankie, do you remember us doing that?
Not in the recent past, I don't.
Have we done it in the past at all?
It wouldn't surprise me since we struggled for many years to get folks interested in serving. So it would not surprise me if we appointed someone from the audience in the past.
Okay. if we've done it in the past, and we need to do it tonight. So Jennifer, do you know anything about Ms. Baldwin?
I would love to have the opportunity to tell you about her. My husband met her, and she's retired, and she used to work in real estate. She lives here in the historically renovated Oneida Mill property, and does a lot of volunteer work in our community. She served with the community for 30 plus years here in Graham. She's strengthened home ownership in the Triad as well as in Orange, Wake, and Durham County through her business. She's currently serving as a missionary and works to offset conflict within the community. She works closely with misplaced children in the community. She works very heavily with the AME churches and several other nonprofit organizations. She loves her historic loft here, and she likes to promote a safe and enjoyable, diverse living space. She really impressed me when I met her. She's very vivacious, and she has the time to be able to dedicate to the commission. And I really enjoyed meeting with her. And I think if any of the other board members had an opportunity, I hate that we don't have the opportunity. In the past, Mayor, we've been able to, have people come to the meeting and get up and speak. And I think that's a really important part of this. That's why at the last meeting, I wanted to possibly postpone these appointments, but I get that we need to move forward, but I guess I just didn't see the urgency if they weren't meeting anyway. So, I would love to be able to put forward her as a candidate for tonight's meeting for the Appearance Commission, and then would be happy to go along with everybody else on the other boards.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Jennifer about this? All right, we're looking right now at our past agenda, our past minutes. And it looks like we did vote on this with the council a couple of years ago. And it says Lee Kimry was on the board, and there was a question that arose with Mr. Larry Brooks putting in an application for the Housing Authority after the agenda packet went out, and we did not allow that to happen. So I think we do have a precedent that we could not allow this.
Jerry, let me just explain a little bit. What happened is Larry put in an application after the agenda packet went out. I was instructed to do an amended agenda packet, so I did that. So the night of the council meeting, it was Mayor Pro Tem Kimry at the time brought up that he didn't feel it was right that we allowed applications to be accepted after the agenda packet goes out. It was a consensus. I don't recall if it was a vote or if it was by consensus that council said going forward, once an agenda packet goes out, that we will not amend it to accept a new application.
But we submitted, I think that was submitted before you had the agenda. That's why I didn't know the next meeting when we talked, Darcy, you said you weren't even going to start on you were leaving at the time that we talked, and you weren't going to start on the agenda until the next day. So I didn't even occur to me really, I guess, but I was having issues anyways. My question is, when we talked earlier in the year, we were looking at making amendments to the agenda even the night before the meeting. So, and I think I talked to Frankie, and Frankie had even said to me that we could do agenda alterations like the Monday before. So, and then in this last past meeting, we had a board appointment without it even being a vacancy on the agenda. So how is that not how is that not amending the agenda? When you're appointing 3 people instead of 2 people, and that's on the agenda. I just feel like we need to have some flexibility on these board appointments, and if good people are wanting to be on the board, I think we need to consider them.
I think we will consider them, but if we have a precedent, then we have to stick with that, which we do have.
Mayor Peterman,
Yes.
I received that application for Ms. Baldwin at 2:54 p.m. on Thursday, August 6th. By then, the agenda packet had been completed.
On Thursday?
The application came in to me at 2:54 p.m. on Thursday, August 6th.
Okay, so the agenda went out at what time?
The agenda probably didn't go out until after that because it took some time to get it uploaded to the website, and I like to have it there before we send it out.
All right, then we've got a we got a real quandary that I'm gonna have to make a decision here. And I think I'm gonna decide to let her name be on the list, and we will take care of this later on, because we have a thing where we said if the agenda is sent out, you can't add a name to it, but her name was in your office prior to the agenda.
Hold that thought. Looks like we lost him again. We can hear you now, Jerry. Your video is coming back. Hold on one second. All right, you're back. Go ahead.
Okay, where did I drop off at?
You said that you were going to leave her, put her on the appointments for the commission, and that's where we were.
Okay, so we've got 4 people. Our slate, we will knock it clean. I'll go back to Melody for her vote. And again, we've got 4 applications. You get to vote on 1 person. So Melody, please.
Renee Russell, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Ricky Hall.
This last lady that was put forth.
Okay, Chip Turner.
Renee Russell.
Jennifer Talley.
ZW Baldwin.
I'll vote for Renee Russell. She did an excellent job when I was in there. Renee Russell, I will make a motion that we appoint Renee Russell to the Appearance Commission for the term that expires 2021. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye. I'll poll them. Melody first.
Aye.
Ricky.
No.
I'll vote aye. Chip.
Aye.
Jennifer.
No.
Motion passes 3-2. All right, next we go to the Historical Museum Advisory Board. We have 3 vacancies. We will start our voting with the first vacancy, term limit of 2023. Melody, I think this is your board. Do you want to add anything to this?
Yes, sir. I think we have several members that are qualified and have a deep interest in this board. And I think we have a very good group to choose from tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Jeff, is there anybody that wants to speak on this?
We have 1 hand so far, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, let's go ahead with that.
Elaine, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Although all of the candidates, the applicants are certainly well qualified, would love to have them. I wanted to let you know that I have heard specifically from Beverly Scurry this evening, who was going to speak on her own behalf because she's quite interested, and I offered to do it in her stead. So I am speaking in support of Beverly and offering her comments to you. She is in two other meetings tonight, so she does have a bit of a conflict. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Elaine, and thank you for your hard work at the museum.
My pleasure.
Darcy, have we got anybody else? Any emails?
Mr. Mayor, this is Jeff. We do not have anyone else at this time.
Okay.
And I have
Dar-
no emails.
Okay. All right, remember, we're working on one vacancy, term expires 2023. So we've got 5 applications. Jeanette Beaudry, Carmen Larimore, Chuck Talley, Jennifer Brito, and Beverly Scurry. So I will start with Ricky Hall. Ricky, please.
Mr. Mayor, I put forth Chuck Talley.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Jennifer Brito.
Jennifer. I'm sorry, Jennifer Talley.
Chuck Talley.
Melody.
Beverly Scurry.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Before you make the motion, just let you know 2 other people have raised their hand. Just want to let you know.
Okay, we're voting right now on this one. We'll let them talk in between the votes, okay?
Yes, sir.
So we've got the first round here. I've got 2 for Chuck. I've got 1 for Jennifer Brito, and I've got 1 for Beverly Scurry. And Chuck would do an excellent job on this board. I'm gonna vote for Chuck. So that gives 3. So we will put Chuck Talley on the first. Vacancy, term expires 2023. All right, next we go to the next vacancy. I'm gonna call Chuck out of there. We've got 4 people: Jeanette Beaudry, Carmen Larimore, Jennifer Brito, and Beverly Scurry. Vacancy term of 2022. And I'll start with Mayor Pro Tem, if you would, please.
Jerry, can I interrupt you for a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please make the formal motion on?
Sorry, I forgot that, didn't I? Okay, I make a motion that we appoint Chuck Talley to the term that expires 2023 on the Historical Museum Advisory Board. I need a second.
Second.
A second.
Sir, all in favor? I'll poll the council. Melody Wiggins, please.
Yay.
Ricky Hall,
Aye.
Chip Turner,
Aye.
Jennifer Talley, and I'll vote aye, 4-1, and that passes. So I'm sorry, Darcy, I messed that up, didn't I? So now we're going to the one vacancy, term expires 2022. We'll start with Chip Turner, please.
Jennifer Brito.
Jennifer Talley,
Love Jennifer Brito. She'd be great.
Melody Wiggins,
Beverly Scurry.
Ricky Hall.
Ms. Brito.
I don't know, left out of this one. I'll vote for Jennifer Brito too then. That passes 4-1, Ms. Scurry. So I make a motion, we appoint Jennifer Brito for the vacancy in the Historical Museum Advisory Board that expires 2022. I need a second.
Second.
Thank y'all. All in favor? Melody, please.
Aye.
I'm gonna poll you.
Aye.
Thank you, Melody. Ricky?
Aye.
Chip?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
And me. I vote aye. So that was unanimous. Good deal. Next, we have one vacancy of Historical Museum Advisory Board. Term expires 2021. I'll go to Jennifer for the first nomination, please.
Jeanette Beaudry.
Melody Wiggins, please.
Jeanette Beaudry.
Ricky Hall,
Yeah, I'll go with Bodger.
Chip,
Jeanette Beaudry.
I'll make Jeanette unanimous. So Jeanette Beaudry, unanimous for the term 2021. I make a motion, we appoint Jeanette Beaudry to the Historical Museum Advisory Board for a term that ends 20 and 21. I need a second.
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 Thank y'all. I need I'll poll council. Melody, please.
Aye.
Ricky Hall,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So that was unanimous. We have two people for the Recreation Commission. We have Kate Moore and Pat Mosier. Let's see here. Does anybody want to speak on this? Have we got anybody, Jeff?
Yes, sir, 2 people.
Okay.
Carrie, go ahead. You've been unmuted.
Hello, council members. Sorry, can you hear me okay?
You got a lot of feedback going on, Carrie.
Oh. Okay, you got it? Okay, so we're gonna get the feedback thing under control. You count my 3 minutes, Mr. Peterman.
This is not a 3-minute thing.
I just want to say, number one, that I think in the Historical Museum Advisory Board, Council member Jennifer Talley should have recused herself, but instead she nominated her husband, which is nepotism. Do you understand what nepotism means? Does anyone
All
here
right,
know what
Jeff,
that means?
let's end this one. We have
Nepotism
Mr. Mayor, I
is a
think
practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Do
Jeff,
you understand what democracy?
Have we got someone else?
Yes, sir, we have one more.
Okay, let's go to them.
Isaac, you've been unmuted. Go ahead. Isaac, you have the floor. Unmuted. Go ahead. He's not unmuting, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I would like to sort of say from Carrie's speech right there that we do not make any money on this. Jennifer would not make any kind of financial advancement with her husband being on a historical museum advisory board, because that's a working board. It's not a money board. So there you go. Okay. So
Mr.
now
Mayor.
we've got, yes.
I think I'll put forth Chuck's name, not Jennifer.
Repeat that.
I'll put forth Chuck's name first, not Jennifer.
Well, true, but it doesn't have anything to do with nepotism, because there's no money involved in this. There's no financial gain. These are
Mayor,
service boards.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
may
ma'am.
I, please? While she did not put forth his name first, she did put forth his name. While it is not illegal in local government to put forth that information and to nominate your own spouse, it is highly unethical in the oaths and ethics that we have taken. So they are partially correct in that it is unethical and inappropriate.
It is a volunteer board. We've had people, my wife has worked on the appearance board for 10 years. She got off of that because of this kind of information.
And
So,
Jerry, please say who asked Chuck, who recommended to Chuck to get on the Historic Commission board? It was not me, it was Jerry, because Jerry thinks he would do a good job. So
not on the Historic Commission job, no.
no, I mean on the Historic Museum board, that's what it is. It's just the Historic Museum board. Chuck's been here for a long time. He has a lot of knowledge, just like Jerry does, just like Jan did, people that grew up here.
All right, let's get back on point here. We've got the Recreation Commission. We've got 2 nominations. We've got Pat Mosier. We've got Kate Moore. And I think it's Jennifer's turn to go first.
I would like to put forward Pat Mosier. He was the Graham coach here for a number of years. He already works very closely with the commission and has helped with the Sports Hall of Fames on numerous years. I think he would do an excellent job. I highly recommend Pat Mosier. I think he does an excellent job in our community.
Go to Melody, please.
Pat Mosier, please.
Ricky Howell,
Mosier.
Chip Turner,
Pat Mosier.
and I'll vote for Pat Mosier. So that would be unanimous. I make a motion that we appoint Pat Mosier to the Recreation Commission with a term that expires 2023. I need a second.
I second your motion, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All in favor? Melody, please.
Aye.
Ricky Howell,
Aye.
Chip Turner,
Aye.
Melody Wiggins.
Aye.
Sorry, Fratelli, and Jerry Peterman. I vote aye. So next we go to the tree board. We have one applicant. We have one vacancy. Judy Hall has put in for this. Term expires 2023. So, and I will make a motion to appoint Judy Hall to the one vacancy. The term expires 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You have one person that's wanting to talk on this.
Okay, go ahead.
Jan, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'm Jan Searles, 526 East Pine Street. And I realize there's only one candidate for the tree board, and I have no problem with that. My issue right now is that we seem to be working out protocol like crazy during the meetings. And this is something that I think should be made clear beforehand. We've now completed all of the appointments for this year. But I really would appreciate if the idea of the nepotism can be addressed in whatever form it takes to address it within the policies. But secondly, and I realized that Chuck would have been appointed if Jennifer had recused herself and said nothing, because you're the tiebreaker, Jerry, and so it would have been Chuck. But at the last meeting, Judy Hall was also appointed to another board with a spouse on the council. I think that if the city grows and people don't know each other, this is going to be something that needs to be made totally clear before the next set of appointments like this goes on. I think having it working it out and talking between each other, this needs to be cut and dried, how it is done, how the timing on the applications and the how it comes. Sorry, my internet's acting. Okay, the timing on the applications and how that's handled, but most of all, how the nominations or voting or whatever. Just we need it completely clear. It shouldn't be where anyone has to guess which way what was right and wrong or calling in about nepotism. I'm just asking for next year if this can please be looked into and clarified. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. We appreciate your comments. Anybody else, Jeff?
Carrie Griffin has her hand raised again, sir.
Okay, Carrie.
Okay. At first I was a little upset, Mr. Peterman, that you muted me. I don't think that was my full 3 minutes, and I am not trying to be disrespectful. I just want you to know that it's important that you hear from your constituents. I'm going to take that as a badge of honor because it means you feel the pressure and you understand that we're holding you accountable. I want to reiterate what Jan said before me, that there needs to be an oversight board in place that ensures that these boards and commissions are representative of our communities, not just your friends or the council members' friends and family members. And I think that it's very important that you consider that. And if you don't, we will make it happen one way or not. But it's very important that this is representative of our whole community, not just the good old boys club. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, Jeff?
Yes, sir. One more.
Okay.
Stephanie, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Yes. Hello. I would like to comment to the fact that these people are being voted for there are no other names being put forward. You cannot vote for somebody who has not run. So if you are concerned with the lack of people, then you need to put your name forth and be willing to run and volunteer and help in your community. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Anyone else, Jeff?
Yes, sir. We got one more. Kat,
Okay.
you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
I would just like to reply to the previous person who spoke. I would very much personally like to be involved. My name is on a couple of these commissions, and it is very difficult to get involved when everyone on here is voting for their friends and their family, their spouses, which definitely seems unethical. And I would like to request that it be reviewed and that policies be put forth and that it be clear, cut and dried. Personally, I do not think that if someone missed the deadline, they should be able to be added to the list during a meeting. And I don't think you should be able to vote for your spouse. That seems incredibly unethical. But I would just like to say that there are those of us who are trying to get involved in our community, but it is very difficult to do so when people are voting for their good old buddies and their family and their friends. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else, Jeff?
Yes, sir. You got one more.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to promote them, so stand by.
All righty.
Go ahead, Carmen. You've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, I wanted to agree with the last speaker, Kat. My name is Carmen Larimore, and I am 24 years old, and I want to get involved with the city of Graham. I own a house here, and it would be really nice to feel like there was room for new people. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. Anyone else, Jeff?
No, sir. That's it.
Okay. All right. So we're back to the tree board. We've got one application. The term expires 2023, and I don't know who gets to vote first, but I think I'm going to start with Ricky Hall and ask him to recuse himself.
Mr. Mayor, I will recuse myself.
Thank you. I'll go to Chip Turner.
Or
Judy
Judy
Hall.
Hall, that's only applicant, right?
Right. Jennifer Talley. Jennifer.
All right, Judy Hall.
Melody Wiggins.
Aye.
And I'll vote for Judy Hall also. So I make a motion that we appoint Judy Hall to the one vacancy of the tree board. Term expires 2023. I'll poll the council. Melody, please.
Aye.
Ricky recused himself. I will vote aye. Chip.
Aye.
And Jennifer.
Aye.
So we've got Judy on the.
Jerry, can you get a second on that?
Okay, I made a motion.
I'll second that.
Thank you, sir. Let's poll the council again. Go to Melody, please.
Aye.
Let's see, go to Chip.
Aye.
Jennifer.
Aye.
And I will vote aye. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would like it noted in the minutes, please, that we have made one vote on the tree board. You asked one city council member to recuse himself because of his wife. You did not, in Historical Museum Advisory Board, ask the council member to recuse herself on her husband. I think we've got some inaccuracies here that need to be noted, and it needs to be placed in the minutes.
Sure, that'd be fine. Put that in the minutes. We're a learning process here on this Zoom meeting. If everybody does understand that it is a learning process for me as well as everyone else. So we'll take that under advisement and it will go into the official minutes. Okay, next we've got number 5. It's Alphabet Street closure request. And this has been affected by the governor staying in the level 2 of our COVID-19. So this has been moved into next year. I think I will need a motion to not consider this until next year. So I will make that as a motion, and I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, sir. I'm all in favor. I'll go to Melody, please.
Aye.
Ricky Hall,
Aye.
Chip Turner,
Aye.
Jennifer Talley,
Aye.
and reluctantly,
We lost him again.
Yep. Can you hear me, Jerry? Jerry, can you hear me? Darcy, he completely disconnected that time. There he is. He's back now.
right, good.
All right, Jerry, you're back.
Okay, so issues not on tonight's agenda. Have we got anybody to speak?
Mayor, you
Yes, sir.
didn't complete your vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were
You
talking-
said reluctantly, and then you were cut out.
I voted aye, so the motion passes 5-0. My fault, Chip. So I cut out, didn't I? It was reluctant too, because we needed that. The veterans at Alco Vets needed that also. All right, next we have issues not on tonight's agenda. I'll go back to Jeff again. Jeff, have we got anybody that wants to speak?
Yes, sir. I would ask that you read the notice, please, about raising your hand.
Okay, it's over here. Okay, if anyone in attendance would like to speak during the agenda item, well, anybody wants to speak during the not on the agenda item, please indicate that you wish to do so by the raise hand feature in the Zoom, or if by phone, press *9 to notify the host you wish to speak. We will recognize you at the appropriate time to speak. If you're having technical difficulties, please contact Preston Jenkins at 336-347-8674, and he will provide help for you there. So, have you got anybody, Jeff?
Yes, sir, I do. First one's going to be Janet. Janet, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Janet, would you let me have your name and address, please?
Janet, you'll need to click unmute.
There it is. Okay. Hi, there I am.
Hi.
So you don't see me, you just hear me. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
Janet,
Hello,
I'd like to have you.
And
your
members
name.
of the City Council, I'm Janet Eckelbarger from 604 Washington Street in Graham.
Thank you, ma'am.
I moved here 5 years ago and was so excited to invest in and participate in this town. How uncomfortable then it is to see the discord in our elected officials making it all the way to a feature article in the Washington Post. In one comment, someone called our town unfixable, and I want to believe that that isn't so. For decades, Graham and its surrounding area have practiced undeniable racism. African Americans and Hispanics make up 40% of the population in this town, and they haven't had a seat at the table ever. Not as city council members, other elected officials, or prominent city positions. There are hardly any pictures or exemplary achievements displayed in the Historical Museum either. The refusal to seriously consider relocating the Confederate statue reeks of pride in that racism, and that is unacceptable. Even the National Trust for Historic Preservation recommends the relocation of these monuments. On the City of Graham's website, you state that you want to, quote, create vibrant centers, especially downtown, unquote. Well, the word vibrant means full of energy and enthusiasm, but it can also mean quivering and pulsing, as with anger. And I'm afraid you're succeeding with the second definition. We are all here in this community to work together, and we should truly care about each other, especially in these times. I had a young man give me a poignant analogy about this town. He said, coming to Graham was like going over to a friend's house to play in the basement, but you can't really enjoy yourself because all you hear are the parents fighting upstairs. I beg of you to work with the county and state officials as well as each other beginning now. We have a clear lack of civility in this civic government. Enough with the us versus them attitude that is getting us absolutely nowhere. You are elected to guide our growing community as you approve more housing and invite thousands to join us. You need to cooperate with people who don't look like you and who don't think like you, and we will all become better humans in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Who have you got next, Jeff?
Next on the list, Patty Allen. Patty, you've been allowed to talk. Go ahead.
Patty Allen, 265 West Shannon Drive, Graham. I first would like to say thank you to Ms. Sperry for clarifying the written comment deadline on this month's public notice. It certainly is improved over the previous public notices. I also wanted to make a comment about our online meetings. I know that there are some limitations and we cannot control what our overlords dictate us to do. However, the online meetings are becoming more and more frustrating as huge decisions are made for our community, but I am not able to face those who wish to impact my life here, and they don't have to face me. These are often people who don't live in this community. And so to come on to a meeting anonymously is an even further invasion. I see all y'all out and about town. We see each other in different places, so we have to see each other. But when developers and large companies are coming in, they don't have to look at me. They don't have to see the anxiety or the worry or the fear sometimes of how my life is about to change and the people around me are about to be impacted by the decisions being made by the city council. So while I understand that our overlords do dictate somewhat what we can and cannot do, I implore you to look for an opportunity for us to resume somehow, some way, our in-person city council meetings. And lastly, interestingly enough, this was a topic I had prepared prior to tonight's chaos, but in regards to boards and commissions, with the side note of, it's perfectly normal for families of elected officials to serve on voluntary boards, because when a family's invested, a family's invested. That's normal. Public notice is given as to how to apply for boards and commissions. While the process for people like me and the ETJ is a little murky, it's crystal clear for those folks who are residents of Graham. But a common comment that is made by board members, and I've heard it from all of the council members, and I've heard it from all of the council members, is that so-and-so's been doing a great job, I'm gonna vote for her. And that's true. I'm sure these people are serving with all their heart and mind. However, that's not how you get fresh new blood in. Sometimes you have to take a chance and vote on someone you don't know. So while I'm not at all concerned about nepotism, I'm not at all concerned about the process for applying to boards, I do think that our word choices do matter. Words have meaning. And that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you, council.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. What have we got next, Jeff?
Nikki, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nikki Cassette. My question is for Councilmember Talley. Can you clarify your public remarks regarding that infamous video showing armed people inside your business outside normal operating business hours? Councilmember Talley has stated that the person was unknown, but many in the community, including present employees, know who he is and that he has done business there in the past. Further, Talley's daughter also appears in the video, and that plus the persons with guns clearly having access to the business when it is closed seems to counter your public statement. Can you clarify?
I would advise Jennifer not to say anything about that. We are still under litigation. If you've got any other comments, and please direct them to me instead of attacking one of the council members.
I'm not attacking, I am just Jerry. I am not, we are just townspeople with concerns. I find it very distasteful how you've been cutting people off anytime they have a comment that counters you guys or makes you feel uncomfortable.
It's not when it's not when it's making me feel uncomfortable. It's when you fall for, now, right now, you can say anything you want to say.
Well, actually, I do have a follow-up, and this is directed towards Mr. Manis. Has the city or the City of Graham Police Department followed up on questions about that video as well? In the name of public transparency and avoiding any appearance of corruption, it would seem any matter involving a city council member would receive added scrutiny, and this just seems like it's been intentionally ignored and not followed up on.
Anything else?
No, that is all.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else, Jeff? Jeff, do we have anyone else?
Carrie, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jeff. My question is, how is Nikki's question related to the lawsuit so that you cannot speak to it? Isn't the lawsuit in regards to protesting and
No. The lawsuit was in regards to the First and 14th Amendment.
Yes. So you are not going to answer a question.
I'm not going to answer questions that are in litigation, and I advise the council also.
So is that video in litigation? Is that what you're telling us?
I'm telling you that we are still under litigation, and I don't know if that video is part of it or not.
Okay. Okay. I feel like the lack of answer is definitely voluminous, and I understand what you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Anyone else, Jeff?
Yes, our next person's Eric Chrisman. Eric, you've been unmuted. Go ahead. Eric, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. If the person sharing the screen would remove the items out of tonight's agenda so we could see the entire board at one time, that would be appreciated. Okay, and also, are all the council members? Not all the council members have a picture of. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And why not? I think if it's a public meeting, we ought to be able to see everyone that's attending the meeting. It certainly wouldn't be acceptable for a council member to attend the meeting in the council chambers and sit behind a screen or sit on the floor behind the desk where we could not see that council member. That's not appropriate.
It's not required.
The citizens of Graham not to be able to see the city council. Also, if you would, when you are discussing things amongst themselves, instead of showing the sharing the screen, if you could share yourselves, so we could see everybody there in the discussion, so we could see our council members in action. Also, in Zoom meetings, there is a chat feature. If we could see the chat that you either take among yourselves or to the whole board, that's part of the public record and needs to be seen. So if you could show the chats, not only between the entire board, but between each individual member of the board, I think that's important.
I will comment on this one, Mr. Mayor. The chat feature is actually disabled because of pictures that were shared and comments that were shared that were racist in nature. So I have disabled that chat feature and it is not available in Zoom.
Well, the chat feature is for the members that are invited, not I can't chat on it, but you could chat amongst yourselves on it. The meeting I just came from.
No, it is completely disabled.
Okay, so there's no chat amongst anybody there.
No, and if the chat feature is enabled, everyone sees it. That's why it's disabled.
Okay, that's good. I couldn't get on earlier. Frankie was mentioning the difference. He said that the average salary of the UPS facility, $65,000, which was twice the median salary of Graham. Well, we didn't talk about the median salary of the UPS. You could have a yearly salary of $1.5 million and have one person making $1 million and everybody else making $30,000. So to have an average salary is a misleading figure. I think that came up before. So that's just the way it's done, but that's a misleading figure.
If you'll stop Eric's time for just a second, Eric, it does drop the top salaries from that company, and it is the salaries of the floor people, the drivers, the packers, all the full-time employees, minus the top heads like the CEO, and those are not figured into it. Now start his time back, please. I hope that answered your question.
So the 65,000 is what the floor workers will make.
Not necessarily.
I find that bogus.
Okay, well, it's the average. You got drivers that are making over 100 figures. I mean, 6 figures. So it includes the drivers and these guys.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to get a response on why we can't see all members.
One member said she did not want to be seen, and we ran it through the attorneys, and they said that was her priority, whatever that word is.
Okay, so it could be her priority not to be seen at a regular meeting in the council chamber, to sit behind the screen. That's a bogus argument again, and it's an insult to the people of Graham not to be able to see the city council in action.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? Jeff?
Yes, sir. Elaine, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Well, I don't disagree with Mr. Chrisman. My comment has to do with a couple of the earlier callers that talked about the importance of including fresh faces, if you will, and new people to the boards and commissions of this town. I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think, with all due respect, I do believe that this council missed a tremendous opportunity to include some very energetic people on the historic museum board. And I'm personally disappointed because I think this is an important group of folks. I've spoken to most of them, and I was quite impressed with every single one of them. And I will only say to you that you missed a great opportunity for the very reasons that the one caller, a couple of them, spoke about. And it's quite disappointing. We will certainly move forward with museum board. However, it's unfortunate. We would have benefited greatly from having fresh ideas, fresh faces, and people who are committed to helping various segments of this town. I was really looking forward to it. So sorry, getting a cold, not COVID. Anyway, thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. Good evening.
Good evening, Elaine. Thank you. Anyone else, Jeff?
Yes, sir. Stephanie, you've been unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Stephanie Ruiz. I choose to not disclose my address. And what I'm here to say is, while the City Council has repeatedly said that they have no control over the Confederate monument, it's undeniable that the monument sits in the heart of downtown. Many other city councils in North Carolina and beyond have drafted adopted resolutions or similar to their county commissioners outline concerns to reconsider relocation. In light of this, does the city council intend to speak to this matter in some similar fashion?
Not as long as we're being sued or we're in litigation, no ma'am.
Okay. Well, this would appear to answer the question that's been at hand for months now, that the city council chooses a monument over the city and well-being of its citizens. I know that a lot of my peers have spoken upon many of what they've gone through, and it seems as if nothing is getting across. I don't know what more could happen around there in order for you guys to change something or even say anything, just because, you know, I'm even afraid, not afraid, but just choose not to go down there with my daughter. And that's just sad. And I know that I'm not just one of them. You know, there's many of us that feel discomfort as soon as we walk through the streets of downtown Graham. And you guys not saying anything in regards to that, not even just for what you're being sued for, but just saying something to the Graham citizens. You know, you guys have chosen to stay quiet, and every time anybody says anything, you just thank them for saying something and just kind of disregard what they say.
Ms. Laramore, we are listening, but we are in litigation and we are advised not to say anything.
Okay. Well, I guess thank you for listening once again.
Yes, anybody else, Jeff?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor, that's everyone.
Then I'll poll Nathan, have you got anything to add? Aaron?
No, sir.
Brian?
No, sir.
Darcy?
Jerry, yes, I've received a few public comments via email that I'd like to read.
Okay, please do.
The first one is from Yvonne Johnson. I received it on Tuesday, August 4th. It says, downtown Graham is my epicenter. As father, me and my son have always enjoyed downtown Graham. From the soda shop to the Muse, which is the only Black-owned business in downtown, my 5-year-old son and I never felt unwelcome or unsafe. Over the last 6 weeks, that has all changed. It started when me and a friend and a Black woman and business owner decided we would go to Beer Co. and have a drink. On the way, we were met with comments like, quote, look at these. I am not going to say it's the N-word. I'm not going to say what he's got written here. And quote, do they know where they at? As a resident of Graham and local taxpayer, I felt from that moment that I could no longer bring my son downtown. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have small children in your lives, but trying to explain to a 5-year-old that he can no longer eat ice cream or spend time in his favorite area because the color of his skin is something no parent, cousin, uncle, aunt, or Alamance County citizen should have to do. I ask you as a parent, what do I tell my son when he asks me why he is no longer welcome to save his allowance and spend it at the Graham Soda Shop? City council members and elected officials, what do I tell my mother and father when they ask to visit their only grandchild? But I can't ensure their safety or promise they will be treated with respect. Over the last month, I've walked around downtown Graham with my son, and I have seen signs in many local businesses, specifically the ones owned by Councilwoman Jennifer Talley that say, quote, keep Graham the way it is. Why would anyone want to keep this town dangerous and unwelcoming to local residents and their friends and families? If we are keeping a tally, I have been called the N-word 5 times and had been referred to as boy more than that since the last city council meeting where I spoke and expressed these same concerns. I have emailed each member of the city council and only one person responded to me. Melody Wiggins told me via email, quote, please just sit tight and give those of us working the opportunity to do what needs to be done. I promise you that things are moving behind the scenes, unquote. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed the privilege to just sit tight and wait for city council members who don't care about me, nor have the time to respond to my emails. I don't have the privilege as a citizen of Graham to hide my face and or take my picture off the city websites like some elected officials. If your actions do not prove the truth of your words, then your words are nothing. While I'm not an elected official, I do have a constituency of like-minded individuals that I represent. I put my safety and security in jeopardy every day for the greater good of my community. So I ask you, our so-called leaders, to give me direction. What should I do moving forward? You want my trust? Earn it. That's the end of that one. I also received another email from Mr. Von Johnson today, August 11th. It says, hello, I am a Graham citizen who lives in the downtown area. I have a couple random questions that are not on the agenda. And as a citizen of Graham, I lack information on these topics. So I wanted to ask my elected officials who work for me if they could help. Topic 1, last Sunday, 8/9/2020. I was leaving dinner and walking around downtown Graham around 9 p.m. I saw 2 Graham police officers walking around the square in uniform, but with no mask on. I wasn't sure if they were on duty or off duty because I've never seen two police Graham officers in the area at that time of night unless they were called. My question is there a set schedule for Graham police officers to work the area? Are there beat cops at that time of night? Topic 2, that same Sunday, August 9th, 2020, as I was walking the square, 2 random dogs who were not on leashes ran up to me out of nowhere. I had to assume that they were friendly, even though I have an extreme fear of dogs that I don't know, especially those that are not on a leash who charge towards me. My question is, what are the town guidelines concerning dogs and leashes, especially in the downtown Graham area? These dogs were with a lady who made no effort to corral or ask the dogs to come back to her. Lucky for me, they did not bite or harm me, but I had no idea of knowing if these dogs were friendly. Thank you all so much for your time.
Information, we do have police officers that shake doors every once in a while. And we do have a leash law, as long as it wasn't in her yard. If it was in the lady's yard, the dogs are perfectly where they're supposed to be. But if they came to the sidewalk or into any public area, then she broke the leash law. And all he has to do is call the police department. Okay, go ahead, Darcy.
Okay, there's another email from Amy Cooper I received today, August 11th. There are Black and brown families in your community that are being targeted by Confederate supporters who are drawn to our town because we have the last standing Confederate statue in North Carolina. No one is addressing this issue. It is appalling to me that public safety of everyone is not of vital importance to the members of county government. Your silence on this issue speaks volumes. Your community is suffering. Will you respond? Respectfully, Amy Cooper. I received an email from Peter Grant that says, I received it on today, August 11th. Please move that stupid monument ASAP. Enough already. Let's have some lasting peace. I received an email today, August 11th, from Bennett Harris. It reads, to whom it may concern, I have a comment that I would like to read at tonight's 8/11/2020 Graham City Council meeting. Both the Times News of Burlington and the Washington Post have made reference in their recent articles about Graham, North Carolina, to a video that has come to be called the, quote, no looting video. It was originally made by 2 or more young white males and posted to Snapchat, and then was copied by someone to Twitter, where it lives on. It is still live at this link, and he provides the link, https://twitter.com/i/status/126-725-325-273-261-763. The video begins at a business in Graham that can clearly be identified as a business owned by Jennifer Talley, taken after hours on a Sunday afternoon. Based on the timestamp of the video, lights out, no customers or visible staff, and clear landmarks visible as the people leave the business and then drive around town. The video shows 2 young white males showing off their hand and long guns, giggling about them, and has them saying that they will stop looting in Graham, based on beliefs of upcoming protests on that day. They also pledge their help to Sheriff Terry Johnson as they drive around downtown and can be seen talking about an African-American individual getting out of their car in a public parking lot, saying they should go home, with no evidence that that person is a protester, In fact, other than police cars downtown, it's a very dead Sunday afternoon in downtown Graham. Jennifer Talley has said no comment to newspaper reporters and later has said something to the effect that this was recorded at her property, but she is not aware of who it is and did not permit it. My questions to follow are, in any way, my questions are not in any way against the Second Amendment or open carry, C-A-R-Y, but instead are about public safety during protests and also about the soul of Graham and the image we want to share with the world of Alamance County. 3 questions for City Council. 1, has law enforcement, Graham PD or the Sheriff's Office, identified the people in the video? And if so, have they spoken to them? Is there any other information available? 2, will each of the City Council members and the mayor be willing to state publicly that they disagree with the vigilante action by citizens and that bringing weapons, concealed or open carry, to protests is not allowed by NC state law? Further, will each of you publicly state that you are against members of Act Back, pro-statue counter protesters who have been bringing open carry weapons to past events, as well as any protesters or anti-statue people bringing weapons to downtown Graham? The 3rd question, can you admit, if not publicly, then at least to yourselves personally, that even though the actions by the young men in this video are solely their own responsibility, that continued curfews, states of emergency, and public statements about the dangers of protests that have thus far been peaceful on the part of the anti-statue protesters may have helped create the environment of fear that pushed these young men to do this action? And thank you for your time, and it's signed by Bennett Harris.
I think Jerry literally just froze. He's completely gone this time, Frankie. There he is. Jerry, can you hear me? Jerry, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, we hear you now. I think that you froze at the end of Darcy's last letter. She was reading.
Okay. Has she finished?
Yes.
Well, I hate I missed part of that. I'm sorry, Darcy. I'll read them tomorrow when I see you, okay? Anything else, Darcy?
No, sir.
Okay. Then let's go to Melody, please.
No, sir, nothing.
Ricky Hall.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I have a request from a couple of citizens along Pomeroy Street. They're requesting a 3-way stop sign, considering a 3-way stop sign at Pomeroy and Water Street to slow down traffic a little bit.
3-way stop at Pomeroy and Water. I will ask the staff to look into that for us. If you would turn that over to Police Chief Frankie, and we'll have them do a study and come back next month. Anything else, Ricky?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Is that it?
Sir.
Okay. Chip, have you got anything?
No, sir, Mayor.
Frankie Manus.
No, sir.
Okay, I don't have anything other than the fire department is doing training over at the Burlington team. Went over there today and they're doing an excellent job. Burlington was over there also. With that being said, I need a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mayor.
I
Thank you,
second that
sir.
one.
Thank you, Rick. Melody, please.
Aye.
Ricky Hall,
Aye.
Chip Turner.
Aye.
I vote aye. Jennifer, are you there yet? We've lost Jennifer somewhere. So the motion carries 4-0. Y'all take care. I will see you later on in the week.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.